Hello, welcome to the lunch edition of NBC News, and you are with me, Evelis Chingambe. Our top stories. President Professor Mutharika emphasizes the importance of maintaining peace and political stability in the Southern African Development Community SADC region. In our special report, we search the connection between the scrap metal business and vandalism of Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi's property. And in sports, the Flames will face Zambia at the Four Nations tournament in Botswana this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has emphasized the importance of maintaining peace and political stability for the Southern African Development Community SADC region. He made the remarks at Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe during a meeting with the SADC panel of elders to discuss regional peace and political stability. Mai Tomoti reports.
President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika commended the SADC panel of elders' work, noting that SADC member states are interconnected and that conflict in one member state affects the entire region.
Today we received former President Dr. Jakaya Kikwete of Tanzania and also former President of Malawi, fourth President Dr. Joyce Banda. They came here to brief us on various aspects of peacemaking and peace building in the SADC region.
The meeting was attended by former Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete, who chairs the panel, and the fourth Malawian President Dr. Joyce Banda, who is the Vice President of the SADC panel of elders. During the meeting, Dr. Kikwete briefed President Mutharika on mediation efforts in Democratic Republic of Congo, Lesotho, Madagascar and Mozambique. He added that the visit aimed to update the President and seek guidance in his role as chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense and security cooperation.
We came here to brief him on the work of the panel of elders so far. And since the panel, of course, is the operational arm of the organ, we also came to receive instructions from him now and guidance. So we spent time to brief him on the work we've been doing in Lesotho, the work we've been doing in Mozambique, the work we've been doing in the DRC, and the work we've been doing recently in Madagascar.
Meanwhile, Dr. Banda expressed appreciation for the trust placed in her to mediate peace efforts in Madagascar.
It is very rare to find that you get an opportunity to meet the chair of the Troika, to sit down and listen to what you're doing and together map the way forward.
The engagement forms part of the ongoing consultations with regional leaders on peace-building efforts in Southern Africa. Maim Tumodzi, NBC News, Lilongwe.
Vice President Dr. Jane Ansah has expressed gratitude to the German government for its steadfast support across critical sectors of Malawi's development. Speaking during a courtesy call by the German ambassador to Malawi, Ute Cornish, Dr. Ansah termed the strong relationship between the two countries as vital, evidenced by continued support, particularly in technical training and vocational education. Details in this report by Jinsisi Moyo.
The Vice President, Dr. Ansah, on Friday held talks with the German ambassador to Malawi, Mute Kon, aimed at strengthening bilateral cooperation between the two countries. During the meeting, Dr. Ansah emphasized that Malawi values Germany's continued presence and its significant support in key sectors aligned with the government's development agenda. She highlighted technical and vocational education and training as a top strategic priority, noting that government is committed to revitalizing technical colleges across the country. Dr. Ansah added that Malawi considers Germany an ideal partner in efforts to modernize curriculum and strengthen skills development in the sector. In her remarks, German Ambassador Ute Kon announced that the German government has committed 68.8 million euros to Malawi over the next 2 years to support various development interventions, including education and economic growth initiatives.
I informed her that we were very happy to commit 68.8 million euros again to Malawi for the next 2 years for our support in the fight against hunger, poverty, in health, in social cash, in good governance and more income and jobs in the rural areas. The Right Honourable Vice President also mentioned other fields where Malawi would like to see more involvement on Germany, like, for example, the technical vocational training, and we informed her about what is currently also going on.
The meeting between Vice President Dr. Ansah and the German ambassador to Malawi, Mutikon, underscores the strong and growing partnership between Malawi and Germany. Jensisi Moyo, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Minister of Homeland Security Peter Mukito has dismissed claims that there is a breakdown of law and order and a collapse of the security system in the country. Mukito said this in Parliament when responding to concerns raised by members on the status of security in the country. The minister has since assured Malawians that the country's security is firmly under control. Beatrice Mape and Catherine Banda have compiled this report.
Responding to questions from the members of parliament on the issue of security, the minister says although there have been a number of murder cases recorded and general security concerns in the country, people should distinguish perception and verified incidences. Mukito says the country's security is firmly under control, stating security agents have intensified efforts in intelligence raids, investigations and patrols, among other things. Additionally, the minister has lamented the increasing cases of mob justice, stressing that it is unlawful and will not be tolerated in the country. He has since warned those committing different crimes that their days are numbered, adding government will not allow them to undermine the country's peace and stability.
Yes, there have been isolated criminal states, and each one is taken seriously and acted upon decisively. However, there is no national breakdown of law and order. There is no collapse of security system. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Malawi Police Service is fully seized with the situation and is indeed on top of the game.
Summarizing business for the week, Leader of the House, Jabi Mhango, has described the deliberations as successful, pointing out the passing of the 2026-2027 national budget as one of the major highlights.
The main business, key business that we had this week was the budget. And I'm glad that Parliament passed the budget on Tuesday, because in that budget, that's where Malawians will get the development needs that they require from their government. So in a nutshell, the week has been very good. We also, as Parliament, approved the constitution of the fresh inquiry into the death of the former Vice President, late Sauros Klaus Chilima.
Mhango adds that deliberations resume after the weekend, and the House will continue with the Amaryllis Hotel Cell inquiry, deliberate on bills supporting the budget, and constituency reports, among others.
Chief Secretary to the Government, Justin Saidi, has described as timely a donation of 100 million kwacha from NBS Bank PLC towards humanitarian assistance for people affected by disasters and hunger. Speaking in Lilongwe during a handover ceremony, Saidi said the donation will assist in meeting the needs of people affected by hunger and floods. We have a report.
Chief Secretary to Government, Justin Saidi, observed that the country continues to experience extreme weather events such as the heavy rains, tropical cyclones, floods, droughts and prolonged dry spells, which have rendered millions food insecure. He said the frequency and magnitude of these events have increased, greatly affecting the country's socio-economic development. Saidi added that the donation from NBS Bank will help ease the suffering of affected population.
Well, as you are aware, we recently were hit by floods. Almost 23 councils have been affected, and we are trying hard to ensure that we support them, provide them food, and this money has come at the right time, and we are actually excited because His Excellency State President declared the state of disaster, and with his declaration, a number of organizations, both local and international, have been coming to support us. And we appreciate the effort that His Excellency State President is making, and also that people are responding positively to this.
On his part, NBS Bank Head of Government and International Organizations Mervyn Donga said the 100 million kwacha contribution is a part of the bank's commitment to supporting national disaster response efforts and helping communities recover and rebuild their lives.
One of our mottos is that we are a caring bank, but also we boast of caring a little more. And this gives us the positivity to say whenever any calamity befalls the nation or the people of Malawi, we are concerned because we know that some of those people that have been affected by any kind of disaster are our customers. And the only way to reach to them is also to support them through the government, which already has existing structures through DOTMA.
The recent rains and floods over the past week have affected 69,000 households, approximately 310,000 people, with 6,155 households displaced, 34 deaths and 197 injuries. Mwaim Tumodzi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
You're watching MBC News and you are with me, Evelis Chingambi. A reminder of the top stories. President Professor Mutharika emphasizes the importance of maintaining peace and political stability in the Southern African Development Community SADC region. In our special report, we search the connection between the scrap metal business and vandalism of Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi's property. And in sports, the Flames will face Zambia at the Four Nations tournament in Botswana this afternoon. Welcome back. Government has held the long-standing relationship between Malawi and UNICEF in various areas of development, including the digital space. Speaking after UNICEF officials paid a courtesy call to the Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Shadrack Namalomba, said government is committed to coordinating various efforts in the area of child development and protection in the digital era. Maeso Chikatula has the details.
Franked by senior officials from his ministry, Namalomba said government is making significant strides in ensuring that young people are meaningfully connected with the digital world. He highlighted that the World Bank, through the Digital Malawi Project, DMAP, is facilitating internet connectivity in nearly 2,000 schools across the country. Namalomba noted that UNICEF's ongoing efforts to equip children and teachers with digital skills will further strengthen Malawi's education sector and enhance learning outcomes. He has since called on UNICEF to scale up its support, particularly in safeguarding children's rights in the rapidly evolving era of artificial intelligence AI. The minister also appealed to development partners to increase investment in Malawi's digital ecosystem, stressing that significant gaps remain in ensuring equitable access to technology.
We appealed to them with the emerging technological development of AI, artificial intelligence. Our children are at risk of abuse and they need to be protected. They are very conversant with working with children, with the youth. And we wanted them to help us also to look at the policies that have already worked on and to bring them on board in the digital sector.
In her remarks, UNICEF country representative Penelope Campbell said UNICEF continues to implement various initiatives aimed at improving the lives of children and vulnerable communities in Malawi. She emphasized the importance of collective action in protecting children within the digital space, especially as technology becomes more embedded in everyday life.
This courtesy call was really important because over 53% of the population of Malawi are children. In other words, they're under 18. And in order for Malawi to achieve its vision of a prosperous middle-income country by 2063, we need to reach more children and families and communities. We need to ensure children are digitally empowered and protected. That means that they know how to use and access digital technology. They can learn through digital technology. and they can achieve health milestones through digital technology.
UNICEF is also supporting the development of key education policies, including the National Education Policy in Malawi. This year marks 35 years since the organization began supporting development efforts in Malawi. Maestro Chikadzula, MBC News, Lilongwe.
In our special report this week, we explore the connection between the scrap metal business and vandalism of Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM's property. The report discovers that while the scrap metal market is fueling the vandalism, police are yet to find a solid link between the two. Justin Gweo has more.
Stories about stolen Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM properties, such as transformers and power cables, are not new. Stories about people dying in hospitals, people deprived of entertainment, people failing to have basic needs because of vandalism-induced blackouts are equally not new. Again, stories about ESCOM spending billions of kwachas replacing vandalized properties are not new at all. Year in, year out, these stories are told in the media, at funerals, in churches, at gatherings, and all other places one can imagine. That has done little to deter some people from vandalizing ESCOM property, costing the utility service provider billions of kwachas. ESCOM Chief Public Relations Officer Pirani Piri says the electricity distributor spends an estimated 3 billion kwacha every year in replacing vandalized property. Piri says the vandalism is fueled by unregulated scrap metal market, which provides a readily available market for the stolen property.
These illegal acts disrupt our operations by diverting scarce resources away from new connections towards the constant replacement of stolen infrastructure, which in turn leads to prolonged power outages for our customers.
The scrap metals market is currently unregulated in the country. However, there is an association consisting of scrap metal traders which has membership across the country. Southern Region Scrap Metals Association executive member James Chalera admits that the scrap metal trade provides a readily available market to vendors of ESCOM property. Chalera says in trying to curb the problem, they have introduced membership identity to easily trace those buying ESCOM property and bring them to book. He alleges, however, that a parallel market from the association led by foreign nationals has emerged, which is buying scrap at higher prices, and this market is beyond their control and probably only law enforcers can help.
We have our eyes on the ground because we need to take away their business papers so that maybe we can deal with this problem of vandalism of ESCOM property.
To confirm his allegations, recently, 2 Indian nationals were caught with 56 kilograms of ESCOM copper disguised as scrap metal, and it was heading for the scrap metals market. While the link between the market and vandalism has been confirmed by both ESCOM and scrap metal traders, and they are both banking on the police is skeptical of this link and says it has not established any from their operations. Beatrice Mikua is Southwest Region Police spokesperson and describes this established link as speculation.
The relationship can be there, but maybe as police we cannot say that we have discovered that relationship, but the speculations are like that there's a relationship between the vandalized equipments and the scrap metal market.
The police is a legally established law enforcer with 4 main goals when it comes to preventing crime. The first is retribution, the second is rehabilitation, the third is deterrence, while the last is incapacitation or removing danger from society. In this case, ESCOM and Scrap Metals Association have banked their hopes on the police to help in dealing with the vandalism of ESCOM property. If police can come in full throttle, arrest vandals, crack down on the scrap metals market, and bring perpetrators to book, it will help to deter would-be offenders and remove danger from society to prisons. As the saying goes, nip it in the bud. The only way to deal with the vandalism of electricity supply property is to crack down on the scrap metal market by making sure that they do business in accordance with the law. If that does not happen, Stories about stolen electricity supply corporation ESCOM properties such as transformers and power cables will not stop. Stories about people dying in hospitals, people deprived of entertainment, people failing to have basic needs because of vandalism-induced blackouts will not stop. And what makes it worse is that stories about ESCOM spending billions replacing vandalized properties will not stop. Justin Mkweu, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development says land clerks are vital in bringing land services to communities. Director of Land Information Management Systems, LIMS, in the Ministry of Lands, Masida Mbano, was speaking in Blantyre at a sensitization workshop for Southern Region land clerks on land reform national rollout agenda. He has since asked the clerks to maintain the highest ethical standards. The workshop has been conducted courtesy of Malawi Agricultural Commercialization (ACOM), which has also procured 40 motorbikes to be distributed to land clerks in the country.
Because government decentralized all our activities. At first, people from the village, if they want to register their land, they had to move from their villages. For example, from Chikwawa coming to Blantyre to do that, it was costly and time consuming, but now they can do the transactions right there in their traditional land authorities. So it's cutting on the cost and also it's very time efficient. The idea for government is that we improve from where we are, what they have experienced, so we can help them. So we expect that at the end of this, there are going to be improved service deliveries, because some of the challenges which they have, we have to see how we can solve them. Some of the understanding of the laws which they didn't properly get properly, or some of the questions they've been asked which they couldn't answer, we hope to solve them at this meet gathering. So we expect the service delivery to improve in their community.
With the trainings that we have been attending, it has really helped us to deal with to enlighten more especially TAs in how they can handle issues concerning customary lands, especially to be aware of the customary land acts like Physical Planning Act, and some of the acts that have been changed from 2022. Challenges are there in terms of the equipments that we are supposed to use as land clerks. As land clerks at traditional level, we are supposed to be moving from one group village to the other. So the traditional area is so big, whereby we need to have access, that is transportation. So it's one of the challenges. However, we are now happy that the government has secured some of the motorcycles that will be using for moving from one place to the other, so that our work will be easier.
In sports, the Malawi national football team, the Flames, will face Zambia at the Four Nations tournament this afternoon in Botswana. The match is a strength testing tournament for both teams. The match will be followed by another between Botswana and Zimbabwe. Winners of today's matches will meet in Tuesday's final, while the losers will clash in the third place playoff. The Flames are using the tournament as part of their preparations for the 2027 AFCON qualifiers. And well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. You've been with me, Evelis Jingambe. Thanks for watching and good afternoon.
This team, Mbola, Mene, Nkhani zeni. Nkhani zokutino muzitsate bwino.
Nkhani ngandonena kuti khandi kupanga chibwezi mnyamata ipo zakafolo. Ndeti napita maloneka kuti tikatani kuti tikachezi.
Mimi ndilo panga chibwezi sindapite kukaizesa magazi.
Ngokonzeka kuti mwana wa malizati amagaza.
Malizati mana bwera nakhangaluta nani ankomela iyeyo. Ine sisinayendi.
Eni yake kuzifotokoza, kusanthula, komanso kukhuthula nkhawa zawo. Ndizikupatsirani programu imeneyi ndine mkhozi komanso mulutsi Andrea. Don't miss kuyambira April